passive income doesn't just have to be real estate, right? Everyone's going to say real estate, FBA, drop shipping, all that kind of stuff. I think people need to start figuring out what their true passion is, right? You could be working a 9 to 5 right now. You could be working a part-time job. Figure out what your passions are, right? Everyone's selling these courses on how to start a business. Go get an LLC. Go get a business loan. Once you get the business loan, then apply it to this, and you'll get this amount of money, and then flip that money into no. Slow down. Figure out what your passion is. Figure out what you like to do. Okay. I don't care if it's baking. I don't care if it's making shoes. You could be an illustrator, artist, whatever you want to do. Figure out what you're passionate at. Figure out what makes you creative. At that point, figure out how you then want to sell that product or service. I feel like so many people want to do business, but they don't understand the passion behind it. Some people aren't meant to have a business. Some people aren't meant to have an LLC, but they still want to find a way to make money and they still want to find a way to have passive income. I actually had someone hit me up 2 weeks ago. They're like, Jay, I'm having a hard time, making additional money. I'm behind on these bills. I'm behind on that bills. And I said, well, okay, how much you making yearly? They said, well, I'm making about 45,000. I said, okay. What do you like to do outside of your actual job? They did customer service. Well, I like to write. I'm a writer, and I write little stories and poems and things like that. And so I said, okay, well, if you like writing, why aren't you writing articles for companies? Why aren't you doing copywriting? See, we're not taking the things that we have a passion with and utilizing them to their full potential, right? There's sites that people can go on that they use for writers, right? And they'll pay you per page that you write or per word that you write, as long as you can write good enough. And you don't have to be specifically certified, right, as a professional writer. But if you're good enough at anything that people need, there's someone out there willing to pay you for that specific service. You just have to basically put your head down, focus, put the energy out there, put network and figure out where you need to go, and it'll happen. Nobody's going to come save you, but you do need that push and that motivation so you can go in the right direction to find the places that is going to help you go in the direction that you need to go. Right. And we're not talking about the people who are given the handout, given the $1 million to go start the business. Right. We're talking about the people who go to the bank, they may get a $5,000 loan. Hey, I'm going to start this company. And they have no idea as far as what they're doing. Right. They go get a DBA. Uh, let's say they're a landscaper. Right. They have no idea as far as how to market the company. They're like, oh, I know I'm going to cut some grass and trim some hedges, and I know how to build a patio and do this all the kind of stuff that I can do. 6 months go by. They don't have any business. They're not getting any referrals. They're not getting any phone calls, no emails, no hits on their website because they don't understand marketing. They don't understand that foot traffic still works. They don't understand how to get out to the masses. They don't understand how to compete with competition. All this stuff is very important to know before you even start a business. You have to understand how to market yourself before you even market your product. Once you learn how to market yourself, then learn how to market the product. Once you learn how to market the product, you have to learn who you need to market it to. Everything has steps and has order. It's the learning process that gets you to the next step. But a lot of people like to skip the steps because they want to take the shortcut because they just want to make the money. I just want to make the money. I just want to make the money. I don't want to have to do the hard work to get there. And that's the problem. You have some people who will be backed into a corner and they'll come up with this amazing idea and they will get it patented and it becomes something, it goes viral. Those are far and in between, right? But what about all the ideas that people have but they just don't have the right push, or they just don't have the motivation, or they just don't have the understanding so that they can get the product to the people that they need to, because they don't understand business or they don't understand marketing. I've done marketing for a little over almost 20 years now, give or take. 20 years I've done marketing. I've worked with small mom and pop shops. I've worked with Fortune 500 companies. I've been in boardrooms with millionaires, close to billionaires. It's always the same thing. Everyone wants to figure out how to get the most return on their investment. That's it. Everyone thinks there's some kind of like conspiracy as far as like, how to sell a product or the psychology behind it. No, it's return on investment. That's it. You want to take your dollar and turn it into two. So how do you do it? How do you figure out what product that you have is going to appeal to whoever you're selling it to? Well, first you have to figure out, like I said, who you are and how you're able to sell. You might be a hands-on person. You might not be as talkative as me. You might be a hands-on person. You might uh, craft something. You might be into machinery and tools. You might be able to create your own tools. But in the back of your mind, you're saying, well, I can't compete with Craftsman, Trax, and all those guys, right? You can compete at a lower scale. Start local. A lot of people have this grand dream. I want my product to go across the world. I want to sell it to everybody, forgetting that you can start in your own backyard and grow it from there. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't have the time, Jay. I don't have the time to do it. I work 40 hours a week. I've got kids. I've got other responsibilities. I don't have the time to figure out my passion. I think we do have more time than what we think we do. Number one, I think that the free time that we utilize and other stuff could probably go to what we actually want to do, what we want to be passionate about. I'll tell you what I used to do when I had a job or when I worked for someone. I had a 9 to 5. I was working for a company. I sold mobile offices and things like that. Absolutely hated it. Paid decent money. Bosses were terrible, but I kept my head down. I focused. I was always at the top of my game. I was number 5 in the company for 2 years in a row. I did decent. I did decent. When I got off work, none of that mattered. I then hopped on eBay and I wanted to create an e-commerce store that was going to help me make money while I was asleep. 2 to 3 hours a day. That's dealing with the kids, that's dealing with the woman, that's dealing with all the issues that I had to. I'd figure out, okay, I need to set aside this specific time. I need to do the dinner, I need to get the kids' homework done, I need to put them in bed. And then from 9 to 12, I'm working on eBay. You will have to be uncomfortable to get to the point that you want to be in. You're going to have some sleepless nights if you want to get to the point of being successful. That's the reality of it. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot of time. You're going to have to sacrifice some sleep if you want to achieve the things that you want to achieve.